Hey y'all, welcome back to Chat with Coach Amy. Today I have a chick with the coolest name, Talon. So first I want to know where that came from. Why did your mama name you Talon?
Well, it was actually my dad.
Your daddy named you Talon.
Yeah.
My dad named me.
There you go. He liked reading Louis L'Amour Western novels, and there was a character named Emily Talon, and my mom had a cousin named Emily, so they nixed that part and went with Talon. So
Love
I
it.
hate it, but
No, I love it. I've talked about it before. I'm like, I love your name. It is so cool. So cool. Okay, so you got to change that. You can't hate it. You have to love it.
I think it was more no one can say it. It's always mispronounced. So
I'm sorry.
I'm
They're
usually
just weird.
Talon. Yeah.
Talon? That's stupid.
It's not attractive.
Well, I got it right. So
yeah, you did.
It's all fine. I was like, oh shoot. Wonder if I had done it wrong.
No.
Oh my gosh, that's funny. All right, girl. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm 35. I live in Illinois. I'm married. We've been married for 11 years. Okay. And we have 2 kids, a 9-year-old daughter and a 6-year-old son. So
what are they doing today?
My 9-year-old's actually at my mom's, my mom and dad's house. She's going for a sleepover. It was her turn. And I put my son in the bedroom and said, you can watch TV for a little bit.
Very cool. Very cool. Yeah. My kids, I just told her, I said, there are 9 living beings in my house besides me right now. My 5 kids, 2 friends, and 2 dogs. Oh, they all need to leave. They don't bother me until there's like a problem, you know, and it's like, Mama, I'm like, no, I'm not here. I'm invisible.
Yeah, my son goes, what if I need something? I said, you will be fine. Just go in there. You'll be fine.
He will be fine. Goodness, these children.
Yes.
But we love them. Okay. Yeah. So do you work? Did you say that? I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. I am a junior high special ed teacher. So yeah, I co-teach, which I just started there last year. I teach at a tiny little school. But I go into the gen ed classroom and teach with a gen ed teacher. So it's really cool.
So. Do you have like severe needs children, or is it kind
of? No, not really. Not with co-teaching. There's another junior high special ed teacher that does like pull out stuff. So I just go into the classroom.
Okay. So. Very cool though. That's awesome. Well, then I know you're going to have all kinds of tips for these people on how to be on plan as a teacher. I love it. It's the best thing. Are you? It is, but y'all do it. And I'm so proud of y'all. I have a lot of you that are teachers. Yeah. So I was about to ask you a question. I can't remember what it was. I got distracted with thinking about the buddies and blooms.
Yep.
Let us talk about that then. That's fine. Okay. Are you doing that? Are you doing buddies?
Yes.
Bloom buddies?
There are 4 of us teachers that, and I know there's more teachers that aren't in our group, but there were 4 of us that were around the same age. And so we're using Marco Polo and communicating with that. It's a lot of fun. Very interesting. I've never done Marco Polo before. So it's
great. It'll suck you in though. It'll suck you in fast. So you got to say like, guys, I got to go live my life. You're going to have to leave me alone for a minute.
Summer's easier. So
yes, that's what I was going to ask you about. That's what it was. Thank you so much. So have you found, because I find this often lately, that you think summer is going to offer all these minutes for all these projects, and then you're like, well, I don't know. How do I survive my life working when I can't do it in the summer?
And I think that's it. I think I have all this time to get things done. I was like, oh, it'll be so easy to be on plan this summer because I can just fix whatever, whenever. And I'm like, no, not happening. Like, oh, wait, we ran to the grocery store. It took 3 hours. I didn't, you know what I mean? Like there's things like that during the school year, I have to be disciplined. I have to have things set up and ready to go. And then the summer is just to, fly by the seat of our pants. So
right.
That's been a struggle.
Yeah, for sure. I bet. Well, we'll talk more about that in a little bit. How were you introduced to Trim Healthy Mama?
My cousin actually introduced it to me I was trying to think of that last night. I was like, how many years ago? It's probably been 3 or 4 years ago. She's like, hey, this might be good for you. And I was like, okay. Bought the plan book and then the first cookbook. And I think I bought the second one too. And I was like, I'm going to do this. And I think I bought
I mean, why not jump in with all the things?
why not? Like, just go for it. And so I think I bought like super sweet and baking blend, and everybody said, oh, start with breakfast. Breakfast is the easiest. Like if you look on like the Facebook groups and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Well, there's one major problem. I hate breakfast. I hate it. I hate oatmeal. I'm just not a breakfast person. And so I was like, how am I going to start this when I don't want it?
Right.
And so that was honestly like, I tried it and I just couldn't do
That's
it.
a hang up, man.
It is. And so, because it was like, oh, just do oatmeal. It's an E. And I'm like, but what if you don't eat oatmeal? Like,
I never had oatmeal until I started THM.
really?
Never had it.
So, so I just kind of let it go by the wayside. And then we found out about 8 years ago that my husband's diabetic. And so he was doing fine with all that. And that was part of the reason she suggested it. And then back in December, his A1C got out of control. It was like 12 something, which is
not good.
Really bad. But and so he like buckled down, and I was like, okay, I've got to do something. And so I was like, January 1st. I know everybody says January 1st, but I was like, it's gonna be January 1st. We're gonna do this. Yeah. So I did, and that's how I discovered you. Was I was like, everybody does everything on YouTube now. Let's go on YouTube. And so I did, and I think that was why I liked you so much, because you just were like, let's be real with it. Like, and I love when you're like, we're not going to use a cookbook for every meal. And I think that's what I thought I had to do. I wasn't trying to simplify it. I was like, okay, I need 57 cookbooks to make lunch. Like, and I can't, like, I can't do that. No. It's not sustainable for us. And so so I was just like, we're going to do this. And so I've had rough patches. I mean, but for the most part, since January, pretty much been on plan. Florida was a little rough, but other than that, it was good.
Yeah. So vacation?
Yes.
Gotcha.
So, well, and I was more worried, and I know I had messaged you about, I went on a mom's trip to Branson in April, and I was so worried about it because I had no control over anything. We were taking a church transit van.
Y'all, you know what? Although when y'all start saying things like this, like a lot of panic, a whole lot of panic comes up in my heart. Like, I'm like, yep, no, peace out. I can't go on that trip.
Yeah. And that was me. I was like, okay, so what all can I bring? How do I, because I didn't know if there'd be any kind of breakfast offered at the hotel, or there's like a really good.
Because you now eat breakfast?
Yes, I do. I make myself, because I know if I don't eat it, it's not good.
Love it.
I might have non-conventional breakfast.
That's okay, man. That's okay. I had pizza for breakfast this morning.
I saw that, and that is me. That's all I ate when I was pregnant with my daughter, which isn't, might be part of my issue, but
whatever. It's okay.
So
you're past that, right?
Yeah, I've got it under control now. But that gave me a lot of anxiety, was going to Branson and not having any control over anything.
Yeah.
The hotel reservations, nothing was in my control. And so I prepped what I could, took what I could, and just planned to do the best I could. Mm-hmm. So,
yeah. So tell us what you packed.
I did a concentrate of Good Girl Moonshine. Oh. So I have a big clear water bottle that's plastic, and I just mixed some water and then did enough. I think we were going like 3 days. So I just mixed enough for 3 days, and then I'd pour it into my big cup.
Yeah.
Whatever a third of it was, and then mix it with water. And use my milk frother, which I love that thing. It's amazing. I couldn't survive without it.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you. I ordered 2 more on Prime Day. So
I love it.
One for my classroom. So
nice. Yes.
Yeah. And so I did a concentrate of that, and I packed the individual things of Singing Canary. I use those little disposable cups with all the dry ingredients, and I took lemon juice. And oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
And then I did the THM cookies. I took some of those and some Too Good yogurt. And then I had baked up some muffins. I think they're Mrs. Criddle's chocolate ones. I really like those. I took those frozen. And then honestly, like peanuts and chocolate. Yeah. And a couple of chomps. I don't like the chomps, but they are handy. So
yeah, nice. Well, you got a dog barking, and I have emails coming through, so it's all good. Well, cool. So I'm sure y'all did restaurants and stuff. How'd you manage with that?
I just tried to pick a protein, and then like we went to a Mexican restaurant down on the river, and so I just did um, some kind of chicken something, and did that. And they did end up having like a continental breakfast type thing, and so I just did eggs and bacon,
Okay.
and I took my formula container with all my
Yes.
stuff
Yes.
and did collagen coffee with it. I'm trying to think. Timing was a little rough because we were in a conference thing, and so you have no control over anything. And so that's where like the peanuts and chocolate would come in handy because I could just eat them nonchalantly and
Right.
not worry about it. So
Right. Cool. You survived, man.
I did better then than I did on vacation when I was in control of everything. So
Hey, sometimes it happens. So like your beach trip, like really how bad was it? Was it like half off plan?
I would say probably half. Like we did breakfast, like eggs, bacon, and I could fix coffee, that sort of thing. Snacks were fine. But like I wanted to try this shrimp quesadilla at Dewey Destin. So I know like the tortilla obviously wasn't on plan, but most of the other ingredients weren't.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, there was shrimp and then veggies and stuff like that. So it wasn't horrible, but I don't know. My timing was bad. So
that's super important, Talon.
I know. And I have noticed too, like and I was talking to another one of your clients the other day. We were at a soccer thing, and we were talking about like I just lost my train of thought. What were we talking about?
Soccer game? I don't know. Y'all talking about timing?
Oh, yes. Like getting up early. I have a lot. Like in my 8 app, I have a lot of entries. But I get up on the school day, I get up at 5 a.m.
Right.
And so I do a collagen coffee, and then I'll do breakfast, and then I'll do a snack, and then I'll do lunch, then I'll do a snack and supper.
Sure.
But I'm up for a lot of hours.
That's right.
And I've learned I can't necessarily make it 4 hours without a fueling. Like I do better at 3, 3.5. By 4, I get hangry, and then I just eat whatever.
Yep.
So that's one thing I've really realized. Like I have to think ahead. Just have a plan. Like it may just be a 2 Good yogurt, but that's what I'm going to have, or a collagen coffee or whatever. I just need to know that's what's coming next.
Yeah, fuelings and timing and crossovers have been very interesting lately. I'm not going to crossovers because there's lots of thoughts on that. There's no sense. I'm not even going to go there. But timing is very important, especially if you are, well, actually 100% of the time. I'm not even going to say especially. And I just went 5 hours between fueling. So like, I understand life happens, but 3 to 4 hours is super important for keeping your metabolism revved up and keeping your blood sugar stable, which are the 2 things that we want to be focusing on, and then, I want to see at least 4 fuelings. You're doing 5 or 6? 5. No, you're doing 6 because you have a collagen.
Yeah, I have 6. Yeah.
So, and there's a lot of me doing all these tracking sheets and one-on-ones and stuff, man, 2 or 3 a day. And I'm like, how are you surviving? Because I'm like, feed me now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I totally understand it. And I also, and this is, I think, something I really struggled with at the beginning. And I had asked you when I was in Buds about like the ease. And I guess I didn't realize necessarily the importance of the quantity of veggies, like the non-starchies, because if I don't have those, then I really do struggle with wanting something, like not feeling full or not feeling satisfied with what I've ate.
That's right.
And so now I will tell you, like, I am the pickiest eater. Like my husband laughs, like, cause I put okra and spinach in my smoothie every day. And he's like, you're eating that? And I was like, yeah, cause I won't touch cucumbers. I don't like tomato. Like I like salsa, but I don't like tomatoes. Yeah. Like I am very picky. And so that has been something I've really had to work on. And do I get as wide a variety as I would like of veggies? Nope. But I'm going to tell you, I can't eat a cucumber. Like I can eat a pickle, but I can't eat a cucumber, And so
I'm opposite of you.
Yeah. See, and I'm like, and I feel like everybody's different and you have to figure out what's good for you.
That's right.
And that has been like my biggest learning during this is figuring out how to make it work for me and how to make it work for my family.
Amen.
Because my kids aren't overweight. I don't mean that, but I've really, we cut out dye out of our diet a couple years ago.
Yep.
For behavior reasons.
Amen.
And oh my gosh, it makes such a difference. But I've also noticed my son doesn't do well with sugar. Mm-hmm. And so when we took out dye, it also eliminated a lot of sugar. Yeah. But then now like we found other things and he's like, I like this. And I've noticed this summer a lot, like he cannot have sugar. And it's been interesting. Mm-hmm. And so I really try to keep them as much on plan as possible.
Yeah, girl.
With crossovers and,
sure.
You know, but we try to do it. So
something that I do with my kids, because we don't have a lot of sugar either, typically, but like if we're going to a birthday party or a family event, they know they need some protein before they have that cake, you know, and I think that's really important for kids. I don't want any of my clients or any of Trim Healthy Mamas out there saying, well, if I have protein, I can have cake. That is not what I just said.
No.
But, you know, do your best. Because I just don't want I'm fixing to do this mother-daughter group, and that's not what I'm preaching. I'm not preaching that these girls, because it's ages 9 to 19, you know, that they have to be 100% on plan with Trim Healthy Mama to be winning at life. My girls are not 100% on plan, but they understand it. And, you know, they do put it into action more times than they don't. And that's great. That's what I want to see happen through this group. So it's great. I'm so thankful that you've able to put this for what you want. When you said that, you know, you do this for you've made THM your way for your family. And that is what I believe Serena and Pearl want for everyone, truly. Because like even the way that they eat and do, it looks nothing like what I do. And what I do isn't like what you do. But funny, whenever you talked about several things that I've taught you, that has been one of the coolest things doing these podcast interviews is like whenever they're like, oh, and I majored this, oh, and I have the thing, and I did this, and I'm like, I taught them that. It's just so cool. Y'all, yeah. You've probably, because you've been with me for a while now, you've heard me say how absolutely overwhelming in a good way all of this is for me. But it is incredible. That's not even a good word, but I'm so thankful. And it's the thought, it's not lost on me. I do not take it for granted, for sure. But I just love it. Took your little baby formula with you and all your things. So proud.
Well, it was a mom's trip. And so a couple of the moms have little babies, you know, and they're like, why do you, because they know my kids are older. They're like, why do you have a formula container? It's not that.
It's for me. It's my formula. We need to get like a little label, like a sticker that says mom's formula or something. Mommy's formula. I'm going to work on that.
Yeah, go for that one. So, but it is handy because it can stay in my purse. And that's like the chomp sticks. Not my favorite. They're not, but I can leave them in my purse and they don't go bad. Yeah. And so there's times I need it, like just an emergency. Hey, I need to have something.
For sure.
But
yeah, that's awesome. Well, you're winning, girl. You're winning. So what made you choose Buds?
Well, honestly, like when I looked into Trim Healthy Mom a few years ago and the people like coaching, and I'm like, I can't afford that. Like, that sounds intense. Like, I understand. No, I can't. And so even in like January, that was not on my radar. But like I said, I found your YouTube channel, then I followed you on social media, and just the way you approached it. And then we started what, like March? Does that sound right? Like spring?
Girl, you know, I'm always doing stuff. I don't know.
I think it was like March-ish.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, I can do this. I need this. I feel like I'm doing okay, but I need some clarification, some extra guidance, and just to make sure I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. And it was such a blessing. Like, okay, yeah, I had an idea of what I was doing, but there were things I'm like, oh, I didn't know. Well, the frother, the milk, I would have never ordered a milk frother. I mean, I have one on my coffee pot, but I would have never ordered one to take with me. Sure. was not on my radar. I didn't even know they existed. Like I said, it's on my coffee pot, but I didn't know they make them portable.
Portable, yeah.
And so there were so many tips like that just made it easier for life. Like I felt like when I looked into it back a couple years ago, and I don't mean this offensively to anyone, but like I felt like it was a bunch of moms that had like numerous kids that homeschooled and I was like, okay, I only got 2 kids. I work. My husband is a 911 dispatcher, so his schedule's crazy. He's also a volunteer fireman, so he's just gone. And so I can't. I I can't. We like eating out, and I just can't do this.
Right.
And so doing buds really helped me realize that I could do it and to make it where it was good for me.
Yeah.
And I actually met someone that our daughters play soccer and she does it too. And so the other day we were kind of brainstorming together.
You're lucky girl, honey.
I know. I lucked out on that deal. But, and it's just been a blessing. Like I can't say anything else but that. Does it feel overwhelming sometimes? Mm-hmm. Yeah. But if I plan ahead, know what's coming next, meal plan, prep. I know some people are like, I don't prep. And I'm like, well, maybe you should start. Like,
that's right.
Like, I don't know what to tell you. But, and nothing, like I started by prepping singing Canary mixes.
Right.
Because I love them. And I have one a day and I love them. And I don't have time to dig out all those things every day. I tried it first. That was insane.
Yeah,
the little cups, dump it in.
Yeah, like even, I don't know if you watch, you're in Blooms right now though, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay. The live in the kitchen that I did today, I did an salad, and I took the idea of a salad in a jar from Trim Healthy Cookbook and used a recipe in Trim Healthy Table. And so it's the zingy something tuna something salad. I don't know. It doesn't even have lettuce in it, but I added that because I'm extra that way. But I just took the ingredients on that recipe and flipped them around for the salad in a jar. So I started with the dressing ingredients that would be at the end and ended with, I guess, the tuna, but I put lettuce for the top. But anyhow, so it's like doing simple things like that. I got a little overwhelmed because there were so many things, but I was like, I really want to learn how to put these flavors together because I'm kind of in ho-hum mode. I posted a pizza that I did last night, the no carb easy bread pizza, but I did it different than I've ever done it before because you probably know this. I rarely do the same thing twice. I'm always changing something, always. And I just like variety. There are a lot of people that could care less, but that's just how I am. And man, if it just doesn't come right out of my refrigerator, some days I'm just making stuff work, man. I'm just like,
right.
What's my protein? Can I put a fat or carb with it? Okay, let's choose one of those. And where's my 4 or 5 non-starchies I can throw on this plate? And that's how I roll because I just cannot worry through that. So prepping to some people is literally having the groceries that you need to eat. It's not, I have never sat out 6 of those compartmentalized little containers and put the rice and the broccoli and the chicken. Honestly, that just makes me want to throw up. But, there are people that do that and it works for them. And that is fantastic. That would never work for me. It would drive me insane. That food would go bad. I would probably do something else. But man, yes, making it your way. Like I said, some people love doing that. Some people don't. So for school, I know you have your coffee early, and it's interesting because Andy, I know you're talking about Andy. I know she won't mind me saying, she does the same thing you do. Y'all have the same feelings, and she is rocking it, man. Rocking it. I'm curious to know because we'll go back to you for sure. But did you or had you ever seen her before her weight loss?
No.
Oh man, that'd have been great if you were like, yes, you wouldn't believe.
Yeah, she actually doesn't live far from me. I didn't know that, but we teach. I teach south about 20 minutes, and she's a different direction. Okay. But our daughters play soccer together now, and so that's how I met her. And actually, I'd watched her podcast, and I didn't even
get together.
I didn't even catch on. Sure. And then I think it was a post or something, and we put 2 and 2 together, and I'm like, wait a minute, I saw you the other day. I know who you are.
Oh, I loved it. I saw that happening, and I'm like, this is the best. I love that.
Yeah. And so our daughters are the same age and play soccer together, and I think we're both doing the mother-daughter thing. So
Yes, she
that'll be
is.
fun.
She actually, God love her heart, I needed to make sure all the sign up worked right. And I was like, if you're still planning, because this is like Saturday afternoon, and you have a minute, do you mind doing this? And she did. And I did have some kinks that needed to be worked out. So we got them done and it was seamless and fabulous. So I love that girl. She has been with me for a long time. She is darling. Darling.
Yeah.
Oh, I think that she put, I'm pretty sure it was her. I could be thinking wrong, but I did a thing in Blooms the other day. If you could invite anyone famous for dinner or something,
Yeah.
and she put me. Like,
That's awesome.
Okay, no.
Come on up to Illinois. We'll take you.
I will. Oh, if I ever get that way, you better believe
Yeah.
I'll be checking you guys out. Don't you fret. So let's talk about when you do go back to school. What does that look like? How are you going to prepare, and what does it look like for you?
So I do eat breakfast. It's not my favorite. I could totally skip it, but I know like when I'm working, I can't. I know that I have to have that protein. I have to have it. So I get up in the morning, like I said, at 5. A lot of times I'll have my coffee pot set where it'll kick on. And so by the time I get out of the shower, it's ready to go. So I have a collagen coffee about 5:15, 5:30. And then I'll have breakfast about 6:30, which I know is not 2 hours, but
Is it working for you?
Yes.
Okay.
So I'll have breakfast. I typically have like some sort of eggs and spinach of some, like either the bake or I just fry them real quick. I do, and I was super excited. You did it on something. I don't remember now.
Me either.
Whatever. The French toast. Like I love French toast, and I never thought about THMing it. Like I just never even, not on my brain. And so I do that occasionally if I have a lot of time, and then I'll whip up a smoothie, okra, not cauliflower, spinach, strawberries or berries, kefir, almond milk, super sweet, whey protein, and chia seeds.
Nice.
I'll throw that in and then just put it in a cup and put it in my lunchbox and put it in my fridge at work, and I'll drink it about 9:15. Like we change classes and I'll just grab it and drink it on the go. And then I'll have lunch. I have one of those mini crock pots that are like portable. Yeah. And so I throw leftovers. I love and I would have never thought of it. I stumbled upon it one day in the first cookbook, I believe. It's just like Campbell's tomato soup.
Yes.
And so I know you're not prep, but I will put them in little mason jars. I'll fix all the ingredients on Sunday, put them in a mason jar, and then I'll just throw it in there in the morning. And then take that with a salad. I'll do, I buy that pre-cooked chicken sometimes, or just cooked chicken, and throw that in the crock pot in the morning, and then take a wrap and throw some spinach and put the chicken in there with a little bit of dressing, have that for lunch. That has really been a lifesaver because I can throw whatever.
Incredible.
It's awesome. And I even had my old school I worked at, my lunch was at like 10:25.
Oh, bless.
That was pre-THM. Like that would totally throw my schedule off now. But but it would be warm by lunch in that. And I could throw chili, soups, whatever in there. And so that's
awesome.
And then I'll have some sort of snack in the afternoon. Honestly, it was a mistake that turned into a good thing. I tried the 2-minute truffles.
Yes.
And I didn't have the right coconut oil, and I hate coconut, and they tasted horrible because they tasted like coconut.
Right.
And so I was like, can I throw it in some yogurt? Like just the mixture with some yogurt. And so I did that once, and that is my like new favorite thing. Just
it's kind of like a brownie, huh? In it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so I just do plain non-fat Greek yogurt, that pack, and a little bit of vanilla, and because there's sweetener in the 2-minute truffles.
Right.
And so I just throw that in there. So that's a lot of times what I have for my afternoon snack with some berries. I love that. And then, like I said, peanuts and chocolate, or apples and Coach Canada's peanut butter.
Yep.
I'll have some like that in the afternoon. So, and then supper.
Awesome.
Whatever.
What's one of your favorite meals that your family likes?
Probably is it Slim Sloppy Joe's or something like that? I don't remember. It's one of the original, in the original cookbook. We do that. They loved Hubby Lovin' chicken, but we do it with chicken breast or chicken tenders. Not, we tried it with, what is it called, for like wings or thighs or something.
Thighs, I think, or in drumsticks you could do. Yeah. If they don't cook, it takes forever to cook.
Yeah. I wasn't super a fan of that. I like it just
Skinless
chicken
meat.
tenders.
Yeah.
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 And it's more like a chicken strip from
It
someplace.
It is.
So
yeah, very good. Very good. So talk to us about your progress.
I'm down about 25 pounds.
Mhm.
I have a lot left to go to goal, but it's slow. It's, you know what I mean? Like, it's a marathon, not a sprint.
Right.
I didn't gain it all in a week. I'm not going to lose it all in a week.
That's right.
So I think I'm down like 19 and a half inches. I haven't measured in a while.
Yeah.
So
it's good.
But yeah.
The Pearl and Serene's potty from this week, which should have been yesterday, which is, I can't find the month, July 13th. They're talking about how fast weight loss just is not the way to go. And it was really eye-opening. I encourage all of y'all to listen to that, by the way. But it was really, really good. And I haven't quite finished it all the way, but I've got the gist of it. But they were talking about how, like, your skin has time to adjust naturally. Not everybody will experience that, but if you include the exercise and the hydration and the plan, you pretty much will be okay. I'm sure for people with significant weight to lose, it's a different story. But for most ladies, it's pretty good. And I like to see, I have clients, I just started one-on-one session a couple weeks ago, and they're very new to me, a lot of them, which is odd. I usually have a good bit of buds or past group clients that come into one-on-one. This session happens to be brand new to everything. So it's a lot of fresh questions and things. And how much should I be aiming to lose? And I'm like, well, I really just want you to focus on the plan and quit worrying about that. But because I know you want an answer, I really like 1/2 to 1 pound a week. More than that is not going, it's not typical going to happen every week. Like some might drop 5 pounds in the first week and they're like, this does work. And I'm like, well, it does, but that's because you went from eating junk to eating healthy food, and that's somebody that went, 100% and doing all the veggies, and they're mimicking what I'm doing typically. And then we have some that don't lose for a while and they've got a lot of healing on the inside to do, or some other medical issues that we need to address. So, or they're not being honest, I will say, with themselves or me. So there's a lot with that. So do you exercise? Because it sounds like you don't have any extra minutes in your life.
And I will say that's the one thing I struggle with. I want to, like, I fully want to. I have the work-ins and I do them occasionally. It's just not easy to find a moment. I don't like doing it in the evening. I want to do them in the morning, but I already get up at 5 anyway. So that means I'm gonna have to get up, 4:30, and I just haven't made it. A lot of times during school, I'll eat quickly at lunch and then go walk around outside.
Yeah.
And it helps me mentally. You know what I mean? Like, Absolutely. Am I getting a huge cardio workout? Nope. But it's just good for me.
Sure. It's good for your soul. I agree.
So that's one thing I would like to add in. And once again, summer, I was like, hey, I want to work out this summer.
Yeah.
I think I've walked up and down our road like maybe twice. Mm-hmm. It's hot.
It is.
To be outside. So, but yeah, so I don't work out like I should. And that's one thing I would like to improve, but trying to find the time.
Yeah, and that's okay. But that doesn't mean you give up on the other things. And I think that's super important. You're doing a great job. You're doing good. So let's talk about anything that you want to share with listeners. Do you have any little words of wisdom, little pep talk you wanted to give them?
Just start. Like, I feel like I was so overwhelmed at first. And I was like, I can't do this. And then it's like, do it just one meal at a time. Don't start with breakfast if you don't like it. Pick something else.
Yes.
It's okay.
It is okay.
And just give it a shot. And I think sometimes, I know that like before and after posts are supposed to be encouraging, but sometimes it's like, how long is it going to take me to do that?
Yeah.
And so I think sometimes that can be frustrating. But I think just start today. Just try to make better choices. You know what I mean? Like maybe you're not 100% on plan, but you cut back on the things you don't realize sugar's in.
Sure.
Like the spaghetti sauce, like goodness, like it's insane.
It
The
is.
yogurts, things like that, that you can just might make a healthier choice for that.
Something I've been seeing a lot lately, speaking of products and sneaky sugars, that's going to be like the kind, excuse me, 1,000 Cs, the kind bars. So a lot of people think that those are healthy. They have so much sugar, and that's why they taste so yummy.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, not those, not those. That's actually happened several times in the past 2 weeks. Somebody has thought, and it's across the board, not even paying clients. Like I've seen it lots of places, the kind bars. They do have almonds, but that's about all that has going for it.
And honestly, I've kind of given up, and I don't mean it like negatively, but like I've kind of given up on the prepackaged. Like I'm a drive-through food. Don't get me wrong. I am right there, but it's like, I can't have that. I can't, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's not I don't mean it like I can't have it. I am choosing not to, because I will tell you, when we got back from vacation, I felt like poop. Like I didn't feel good. I even texted my cousin that had told me about Trim Healthy Mom. I'm like, I just don't feel good. Like and I was still doing my good girl moonshine while I was there and my singing Canary and all that and trying to, but I just had too much junk that wasn't good. And I didn't like how I felt.
Yeah.
And so not necessarily just for the weight loss, but just feeling good. Like, you know, standing up and like your feet don't hurt or your knees don't hurt. Or, you know what I mean? That sort of thing. So
for sure. Well, thank you so much for sharing, taking some time out of your summer to talk to us today.
Thank you for having me.
Of course, you're just, I love your joy and your smile is the best. And I knew that your story would be helpful to so many. I love sharing. You did not say this, I don't think, because I did send this out a while back, but a lot of times they're like, I don't have anything special to say. I'm like, it don't have to be special, you know? But I love your story of how you came to THM, came back. This was your comeback, and you have been steady for several months, 6 months. Well, you started in January.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So 6 months going on 7. That's awesome. That's awesome. So keep up the good work, girlfriend.
Thank you.
You got anything else you wanted to say?
Nope, I think that's it.
All right. Bye, y'all.